Hello traders, welcome back to this week's first episode of what we are expecting throughout the week and what we are expecting for tomorrow, specifically tomorrow being the 7th of October. Before we start, if you like the content of these videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon. In the description below, you will find the read-only link of all the charts that we will be looking at right now. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as the Facebook page, and you are very welcome to join there. Let us now get back to the monthly chart of ES Mini. Now the monthly chart still looks very bullish. Over the last 1 week, it actually came down to this 5721 region. Specifically, it did not break down the 5724 line and it continued back up again, although it did not close above the 5805.75, which is the open of this particular monthly chart. But we have seen a very good bullish movement till now. Now we will have to see if the price is actually wanting to pull back down or it wants to get above the 5800 and keep going to the upside. Again, getting back to counting the legs, this was the first leg up. We had a pullback. We had a second leg up. This was the pullback. We have a third leg up. This is the pullback of the third leg. And now we are in the fourth leg of the move if we start counting right from here. If we are starting to count from here after this pullback, then this is the first leg up. We have the pullback. This is the second leg up. We have the pullback. And now we are in the third leg of the move to the upside. We have this particular trend line on the monthly chart, and the point that where it meets is still at 5622.25. So now if over the month the price actually breaks these levels, breaks down all these supports and keeps on coming down, we can find the first level of support in this particular area. However, on the monthly chart, we also have this particular wedge line on the top, and the point where the monthly chart can meet this wedge line is at 5963. So it will be near the 5963 to the 5965 area. And if you remember, even last week, we had a target at the 5960 area. So if the bulls are super strong and they keep on pushing it above 5800, above 5900, it is highly possible that over the next 3 weeks of this particular month, we can easily get back to this area at 5963. 365. Now last month the ATR ended at 417 points, so if we are counting 417 points from this particular low, then it will actually take us to the 6146 area. So we will see if that is possible. If we are breaking out of the 5900, if you are getting to the 6000 and getting to the 6146, but the bullish move that we have at this point, I won't be very surprised if by the end of this month or maybe by the end of next month we are somewhere in these areas. Now again, on the downside on the monthly chart, this is the first area that we need to break down. If we do not break down this area, just like previous weeks we have talked about, the bears will not get enough traction. If the 572122 area breaks down, then the next area of support on the monthly chart will come between 5666 and 5655. So this is another very good area of support. Below that we can come to this trend line support, and farther down we can find ourselves in 5588 area, followed by the 5567 to the 63 area. So these are the different areas of support that we have on the monthly chart at this point of time. If you also see at this point of time, this month's bar is actually an inside bar to this particular month, right? So we can consider that at this point of time, this is a mother bar, and considering that this 5878 to 5921 area can be the trap zone for the bulls at this point of time. If we can break above that, we can get to this 5973 and 6047. Similarly, inside the mother bar, this 5783 to 5740 area will be the primary area of support based on this mother bar levels. The 50% of the mother bar is again at the 5622 level, where we saw that we have the trend line support, and below that we can come down to 5544 and then to the subsequent levels of the mother bar fibs. If we are looking at the bottom trap zone, then then the price can come down to the 5349 to the 5306 area, and there we can find a bounce. However, these levels are far away, and the bears will have to do a lot of work to bring the price down to that area. So we will see how the upcoming weeks unfold, and then we will consider that whether this is going to be a mother bar and we are going to have the price come down through the fib levels of the mother bar. So that is all we have on the monthly chart. Let us now move on to the weekly chart. If you're looking at the weekly chart, you will find that the price did come down to this particular trend line that we had on the weekly chart, but it did not quite hit that and went back and created a bullish bar. Although there is a long wick at the top, you will see that we have actually gapped up today. This particular week's open has been above the low of the prior week. Now we have to be careful about this particular trend lines. So if you see, if the price comes down here, and this 5787 area will be the area where this weekly bar will meet the trend line, and if it wants to go back up, then we will find ourselves somewhere in the 583940 area, which will be above the current ATH that will have. At that point of time, this current ATH, this breakout area, will become a very good support, and then we will have to see if we are able to break out of this wedge and keep going up to 5864 or 5865. If that does not happen, then we can actually have a very strong pullback that may start from here, and that will continue for a couple of legs on the weekly chart. But then we will see if that happens. If we are breaking down this 5787 area, we are coming down this 5784, this is 8485 line is the primary support. After that, we will have to see if we are coming down from this 5773, and then finally we can actually come down to this 5745, which happens to be the 5 EMA on the monthly chart, and we can get a bounce from here as well. On the downside, if we come below the low of the last week's close, which is at 5800, our first support will be in the 5797 area. Then we can find support in 5792, and then to the 5783 area, the 5787 area being the area where the price will actually come and touch this weekly trend line. And if we are breaking that out strong, if we are breaking out this 5783, we can come to this 5773 to the 5761 areas, and then we can subsequently come down these levels. But before that, we will have to be careful about the fact that this 5787 to the 85 area is breaking down and holding in order to believe that the price actually wants to come farther down. On the upside, again, this 582223 area will continue to be a very good resistance. Had rejection from here, we may have another rejection from here. If we do not get rejected, then the next target will be the current ATH, and above that we can come out to this 583940 area, which will be the top of this particular wedge line. Again, if we are counting the legs from here, this was the first leg up. We had a pullback and we had a second leg up. This was the pullback again. Currently, we are on the third leg on the weekly chart as well. Now, if we are looking at a 1:1 of this first leg to the upside, then the price can bring us to 6254. That will be the measured move target of this particular first leg up on the weekly chart. So that is another area where price can finally reach over the next few weeks, as we saw on the monthly chart as well. And then we can start breaking down from there. Again, if we are unable to break out of this 5822 line, then this particular last week's candle will become a mother bar to this week's candle. And tomorrow morning, if we see that something like that has happened, we can actually follow the mother bar on this particular weekly bar, and then see how the price is moving down. If we are breaking down the 50% of this last week and trying to come down, or it will continue, or it will bounce from there and keep moving back up again. So at this point of time, this 5773.5 or 5772.75 is the 50% of the last week's bar. So that is all we see on this weekly chart as of now. Let us now take a look at the daily chart. Now on the daily chart, let us first do a leg counting. This was the first move up. This was the first reversal attempt. This was the second reversal attempt. This was the third reversal attempt. And this was the fourth reversal attempt. Now, in order for the market to keep moving up, we need the price to close above this 5822.25 line. Otherwise, the bulls will not get enough traction, just like we were not getting enough traction for the bears as long as the 5724 or the 5721 line did not break down. We have to break out of this 5822 line, and then we will see if the price is moving up. Now, after this fourth reversal attempt happened, which happened after this new high, this was the first entry short, this was the second entry short, which of course we have seen that it has failed. But now we have to see that the price is going above 5807, which is the open of this particular bar, and then it is holding that area and tries to move up. It takes out the 5822 area, goes to the ATH, and then we will see if it's coming and hitting this particular wedge line to the top, which happens to be at 583435 area, which is in sync with the 5839 to the 40 area that we saw on the higher time frame. Now, if we are breaking out of that, another possibility is the price will come and hit this particular wedge line to the top, which happens to be at the 587475 area. However, before that happens, I think there will be much more trading range behavior somewhere in the middle, right below the 5850 line. And then finally, we can push above the 5850 line and get to this 587475 area. That will be the first target. Above 5850, that may be the first target that the bulls may want to achieve. Again, if we are looking at the ATR on Friday, the ATR ATR closed at 57.05 points. So if we are trying to get 50 points from the low of this particular daily bar, it can easily take us to the 5850 area, and then we will see if we are breaking out of that, getting to the 65 to 67, and finally to the 73 to the 75 area. Now, if we are counting the legs again, if you see, this was the new low that got created. This was the first entry long. This was the pullback after the first entry long. And this is the second entry long. Now, the price has to hold above the high of this daily bar, which is at 5805. And if actually price holds above this 5805, then we will consider that, okay, this is going to be the high too. And the price is taking that out and it will keep moving to the upside. However, if we see that the bears are not allowing the price to get above the 5805, that will mean they do not want the H2 bulls to get control of the market and keep going to the upside. There were buy stop orders right above the top of Friday's bar, and those orders have been activated. So we will have to come back and see tomorrow morning where those bulls are present, where the price is present, and then we can take a call on which direction the price may actually move. It is also possible that in the overnight session itself, the London session and the Asia session, the bulls become so strong that they can bring the price up to these areas. And in the morning, we will see ourselves falling from those areas once again. And that will be especially true if we find ourselves in this 5822 area and then we see that the price is getting rejected. Then it is highly possible that it will break down this 5807 to 05 area. It will break down 5800, and if we fall below the 579496 area, the 578587 area will be the next target, somewhere here, and then we can come down to the 73 area. What I'm thinking is, if the 73 area fails, we can come down to the 5750 area, which has been a very good support area on Friday, and the price can again bounce from there. The 5750 line may not be visible on this particular daily chart, but we will get a better view of it when we go to the lower time frames. We also need to remember that this 5740.5 line is the daily EMA. Till now, we have bounced twice from the daily EMA, so the expectation is the price should actually keep moving to the upside. However, you never know if the price reverts and comes back down. If we break down this 5740.5 line, and if we can close tomorrow below this line, we may actually see a little bit more move to the downside, or it will actually create a trading range in this whole area. Now again, on the downside, as long as the 5750 line does not break out, we do not know that whether the bears will be getting further traction to the downside. But if that breaks down, and if we are breaking down this EMA as well, then I'm thinking that the price will actually come somewhere between the 3.1 to the 2.4 area, as we had expected in the previous week. We also have an expanding triangle here. If the price comes down here, this 5722 area will again be an area of support. And after that, if we are breaking down this, it can come to this 5714. If these areas are broken, I'm pretty sure we will come and see these levels at 5702, lower 5700s, and even break that down to get to this level at 5690. But these breakdowns will only be possible once we have taken out these lows at the 5723 or the 5722 areas. As of now, that is all that we have on the daily chart. Now let us move over to the intraday 4-hour chart. Now, if you're looking at the 4-hour chart again, after this new low got created, we had an inside bar. So this was the first entry long. This was the second entry long that we had, and it took us till the 5802 line. After that, there was a strong pullback, and this was the end of the pullback till at the 5750 line. And then we actually spiked from here, went back above the highs of this particular bar, could not hold it, and closed at 5795. And now we have gapped up around 6 points, and the price is continuing to move. So from a leg perspective, this was the first leg up, this was the second leg up, and we are in the third leg area. I will keep a trend line right here on the 4-hour chart, just to make sure if the price is actually holding above this trend line. This is actually a wedge line on the 4-hour chart with the first touch, second touch, and the third touch. If we are breaking out of that and the machines are looking at this particular wedge line, then the price may actually come and hit this particular line at some point of time. We will have to see at what point of time that is happening. The primary objective will be to get above this 5809 and 10 area, get above this particular wedge line, and then we will see if we keep on moving to the upside. On the downside, on the 4-hour chart, this 5800 or the 5801 will be a very good support. We can actually look out for false breakdowns below this. So what will happen is we will break down the 5800 area. We can come to the 579394 area and then bounce back up and get to the 580507 again and keep moving up from there. So that can be another possibility that may be there. We also have this particular trend line on the 4-hour chart. We will have to keep an eye on this at that at any point of time. If it comes closer to this particular area on this particular trend line, then it may actually bounce from there. Even if it moves sideways overnight and we finally come somewhere in this area during the day, it can actually bounce from here and get us to the top and touch this trend line to the top. Now, depending on when we are doing that, when we are getting above this particular trend line, at that point of time, we will see if we are getting above the previous ATH, and if we are getting above the previous ATH, we know the different targets that the price has on the higher time frame. So those higher time frame charts on the uncharted territory, I will keep them marked on the 5-minute RTA chart as well for everyone's convenience. Even on the 4-hour chart, even if we break out of this particular wedge line, we will again find resistance at 5822. We have tried to break it once, we have tried to break it twice. This was the third attempt. We will have to see if we have a fourth attempt, and if the fourth attempt is breaking out, or after the fourth attempt, we will have another deep pullback. This is practically a trading range that we have at this point. So if the bears are not allowing the bulls to get above this 5822 area, even on the fourth attempt, the price may actually start coming down once again inside this big trading range that we have. I would say this 5740 to the 5822 area, this is the total trading range, and the midpoint of it lies at the 578182 area. So that 85 to 82 area, or the 85 to 80 area, becomes very important once again if the price wants to pull back down here. And as we were talking about in the higher time frame, this 5795 area on the 4-hour chart can also act as resistance. If we are breaking out of this 92 to the 93 area, we can come down to the 578685 area, which will be the weekly trend line support. And after that, we will see if we are breaking down, if we are getting below this 5781, our next support will be at this 5773 breakout area. Now, it may not come directly to this breakout area. It may create a higher low and keep going up again, thereby creating a breakout gap here, which will continue to act as an area of support once again. One last thing that I want to point out on the 4-hour chart is that we had a wonderful mother bar here, and the 1:1 of that mother bar is at 5814. So it is possible that the bears are present here and they do not want the bulls to get above this 1:1 target, and we can start falling back from here again. So that 5814.75 may be another very good profit taking target area for the bulls. Now, we are talking about all these levels here because we are in a trading range near the all-time high, and there is always a possibility that the all-time high will fail and it will keep coming back down. But till now, even we have come back down, all the dips has been brought out by the bulls and the price has moved back up again. So there is still a possibility that even if the 4-hour chart moves sideways for some time, comes down a little bit, and then takes out the 5800, the 5805 areas once again, the price will keep going back to the upside. So that is all that we have on the 4-hour chart at this point of time. Let us now move on to the 1-hour chart. Taking a look at the 1-hour chart, if we see that this was a trading range that we were in, we broke out, we came back down to retest that area and went back up again. So if you see, if this was the trading range that we were in, we actually got a 1:1 of that particular trading range to the upside. Now, if the price continues to go up, we can actually do a 1:2 of that particular move, and that will bring us to the 5842 area, which is in sync to the 5839 to the 40 area target that we had on the upside on the higher time frame. Now, if we are counting the legs after this new low was created, this was the first entry long, we had a pullback, this was the second entry long, we had another inside bar after this, and now we are continuing in the third leg. So now we will have to see if there is a possibility of a wedge formation, which we have at this point. This is one wedge that is possible. The other wedge that machines may be looking at is this particular wedge line. Now, if we see that the price is coming up on these lines at some point of time, and we are getting a rejection, it may start a two-legged move from there, and if the move is too strong, then we can actually start another bear trend on the lower time frame, which can give us a very good profit target to the downsides again. But for now, the high of this particular bearish bar, if you see, it is holding, and it may actually attempt to get back out to the upside. It may move sideways, create some room, and then start moving up. If we are counting the reversal attempts from here after this new low, this was the first reversal attempt, this was the second reversal attempt. I do not yet see a strong breakout above the second reversal attempt. attempt. So at this point of time, the low of this particular candle, which is at the 579594 area, will keep on acting as a very good support. If this actually breaks down on the hourly chart, the first target will be the 5787 to the 85 area. We do have the 5778 1 hour EMA at this point of time. We have never closed below the 1 hour EMA, and even if we have closed 1 or 2 bars below the 1 hour EMA, there has never been any follow through. Now we will have to see what happens overnight, where the price is in the morning, and based on that we can take a call in which direction the market is going to move. However, on the upside, if we can get above this 5804, 5805 area, or better still, if we can get above the 5807 area, our first target will be the 5819 to the 5822 area again. And then if we break out, we will see if we are trying to get to the all-time high, and a breakout from that can actually get us to this 58439 to the 5840 area, and we can keep on getting higher to those 6566 levels, and finally to that 5874 level to the upside. Now on the 1 hour chart, on the downside, if we are breaking out this 5765 line, our next area of support can be at the 5756 to the 55 area, breaking out of which this 5750 is going to be a major area of support, and below that we can come and hit this 574342 line. If we are breaking down this 5737 to 33 area, we may target these lows again from 27 to 24, and breaking that down, if you're breaking that the 5721 line, the next area of support will be at the 5711 area, and then we can come down further to the 5688 areas on the hourly chart. However, between these two lines there will be much more areas of support and resistance, which we will see on the RTH 5 minutes chart. Now, if we are looking at the 5 minute chart, we had extended this particular trend line to the top, and this is where the price came and hit in the morning, and we got a very good dump. And then the price finally recovered and came up back towards the same area and actually went above that. Now, if we are holding this area right now, this 5797 area, I would say the 5794 to the 92 area, or if you're trying to be much more conservative, you can actually look at the 91 to 90 area. If these areas break down, we will come to this support at 5785, which again becomes very important. Below the 5785, this 81 to 80 area may actually give you some kind of support. There are multiple micro gaps that are present here, so the bears may find some difficulty to break out of these levels, but if they break out of the 80, they will mostly be coming down to the 73 to the 70 level, which will be the next major support. The next major support after that will be at the 5766 area, and then we can come down somewhere to the 5750 area and retest that, and then we will see if the price is bouncing from there. If the price does not bounce from there, it can come down to the 46 area, and then to this 37 to the 33 area, breaking down which we will get to the 25 area. Now if this 25 area is breaking down at this point, there has been multiple tests of this area, right? 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 times this area has been tested. So if the price is coming down here at this point, there is a high probability that this area will break down right now, and we will come to this 5725, breaking down which we will come to this 21 to 22 area, which is our main area of support, and after that we can get to this 5709. However, prior to that, I would keep an eye on the 13 to the 11 area as well, and then we can come down to 5709, 5707, and if we break down 5705, we will definitely come and visit somewhere close to the 5700 to the 5697 to the downside. Now again, if the 5730 or the 33 or the 21 area is breaking down, take it with a pinch of salt, because I have seen this 33 area in the lower hundreds getting tested almost 11 to 12 times before we finally bounced off of that and created a new high, a new all-time high. On the upside again, if we are able to break above this 5804, our next target will be the 13 to 11 area. We may then come back to this micro bear gap that we have here at the 1617 area, but then my target will be the somewhere close to the 19 to 21. If we break out of that, we will have to see at what point of time we are breaking that out, and based on that we can actually have a target on this particular trend line once the price has broken out of the current all-time high. Otherwise, I will also keep this particular line at this point of time in order to see that if we are able to break out of this in the overnight session. If we are not able to break out of this in the overnight session, maybe we will come back down a few legs. We will see if there is a reversal attempt, or otherwise the price may actually get back into that particular trading range that we were talking about. But then again, we will have to look at all these major support areas at 80 to 85, at 73, at 66, at 55, and then we will see if the price is actually actually trying to break down the trading range, break down the 5721 area, and keep coming to the downside. So that is all the analysis that I have for now. I will be back in the morning with you guys at 8:45 a.m. EST for the pre-market plan. If you want to join that pre-market plan, the link to that is given in the description below. This is where I will end the video for today, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.